With our sketchbook made, it is time to design and decorate the cover. Woo woo! With the design, we have some choices we need to be making. Those include what the composition will look like and our design elements, like the words we're going to use for our mantras, as well as our decorative and pattern pieces. Now, those are a lot of options, and there's so many that I'm actually just going to show you 3 examples using 2 sketchbooks and a scrap piece of paper, just so you can see 3 different designs, because we do have 3 composition choices. So let's show you composition choice number 1. While I zoom in into the sketchbook, let's quickly talk about the choices we have for our cover design. Our first choice is, what composition do we want? A composition is how the elements and design of a piece fall into the art you're making. It is where you choose to place the figures or plants or patterns or whatever it is onto that piece of paper. Our second choice will be how many mantras we would like to have on our cover. Remember, a mantra is a positive affirmation we say to ourselves. We can either have 1, 2, or 3 mantras on our cover. The words we'll be choosing for our mantras will come from this awesome word cloud. And finally, we get to choose a design or pattern that will go behind our mantras. So let's go back to this example. I'm going to choose 1 mantra for this cover, and so I have 3 composition options for a 1 mantra choice. So those 3 compositions look like this, and you'll find these examples in Schoology as well. And you will make one of these choices for your art pieces as well. So I think I'm going to go with number 1, because I like the idea that I could have my mantra look like it's popping out from the middle of my piece. So I'm grabbing a pencil, and I'm just going to put a light circle where I'm going to place my mantra and try to figure out where I'm going to put my name, because I want my name to be part of the design as well. And I kind of put a little bubble there. Okay, put closer to the center. I got an idea. I see it in my brain. Awesome. So I want to make it look like an explosion. So I'm going to, instead of keep it a circle, I'm going to change that shape into be more of like an organic, kind of zigzaggy, pow kind of shape. Once I have a rough shape kind of put out, I'm going back over some of the areas that I think I need to kind of clean up a little bit, and you'll see that I started to write my name, and then I write down my mantra choice. I'm writing the mantra word I chose to be really, really big, and I'm choosing one of our art mantras, be creative. So I'm going to write creative really, really big, and then I'm going to put I am in front of that word to make it a manifestation mantra. Now that I have my mantra down and I have my shape figured out, I need to figure out my background. I'm just going to keep it kind of simple and do, I choose to do a line pattern shape. So I'm just going to do some lines in the background, and then I'll fill those in with a solid color. I'm quickly just erasing the lines that I don't need anymore, because when you go over pencil with colored pencil, it's hard to erase the pencil underneath. So I'm kind of trying to clean up some areas. And so now I'm just going to place those lines, those kind of big giant stripes, and I kind of see it like a rainbow. So I'm gonna make it like a sweeping rainbow with these big giant bold strokes. And to make it look even more like kind of exploding out of the paper, I'm gonna take some little triangles and change the shape just to kind of put them near the big zigzaggy organic shape around my mantra to make it even look more like what I see in my brain of an explosion. Once the pencil is all done, I switch that pencil out for a black colored pencil because in my brain I see the mantra standing out way more than the background by giving it a really bold stroke. And so I chose to do a black pencil to keep with the image I have in my brain of this cover. So I'm just going to go over the lines of the I'm creative, the zigzaggy shape, and the triangles to kind of make them really pop and stand out from the background. So I'm just carefully going over the pencil lines that are already there with my pencil with a really hard pressure to make sure it's a deep black. I'm also noticing when I'm tracing over some of these pencil lines, I'm trying my hardest to really follow some of those pencil lines, but even occasionally I might miss, or because I have to write it a little bit bigger, it's not covering the pencil line fully, and I'm okay with that. I don't mind seeing the pencil underneath because I know later on I'll be going over it with a different color, but if that really bothers you, just be really careful with erasing because you might smudge your colored pencil. Once I'm done with the black, I'm planning out what colors I want where by going back to my image in my head of how I kind of wanted to look like a rainbow. So I'm making sure I can plan out how many colors I need and where they can all go. And then I wanted my design again. I want kind of some of those pencil lines to be a little bit bolder than others. So I'm pressing really hard in the by the edge of that line, that first pencil line with the colored pencil. And then I'm going to fill that block in with a lighter color, well, a lighter pressure, so it looks like a lighter color by using the same colored pencil. And you'll see occasionally I pick up my eraser because I want to erase the lines so you don't see them underneath colored pencils, because like the yellow colored pencil is so light that if I don't erase the pencil first, the yellow will pick it up and it won't look as bright or vibrant. And I do apologize for my head occasionally getting in the camera. I'm unaware where the camera is when I'm in my creative process, might be. So I like to call this technique the bumper technique, where I outline objects or items in the artwork that I'm not coloring in. And then when I start to color in, I have that like dark line to meet to instead of going past the black line. So I'm not like drawing outside the lines, which if you draw outside the lines, that's totally cool. That is your aesthetic and your choice. But I wanted my cover to look really clean. And so I created that bumper. One, it makes the lines pop out way more and gives it a little variety from the different sections. But I didn't want to like have my pink go into my orange section. So having that bumper there definitely really helped. If you need more information on how to use a colored pencil and being able to change your pressure to get a variety of color and value with that one colored pencil, I do have a video that does show that. So you are more than welcome to hop into the green Welcome to Art folder, and in the Everyday Art material there should be a colored pencil demo, and also in our Schoology folder for the sketchbook cover design there will be a colored pencil demo in there as well. And there we are, sketchbook 1 with one mantra, with composition 1 choice, with a line pattern complete. Now let's move on to a sketchbook cover that has 2 mantras as a choice. So just like mantra 1, when you choose 2 mantras, you have also 3 choices as well. So we have 3 different ways we can set up our cover, and I really like choice number 3. So for my 2 mantra cover, I'm going to go with composition 3, And I'm going to put them. So I'm gonna grab my pencil, just like we did for sketchbook 1, and I'm just lightly kind of circling where the words will be based off my composition choice. And I start to put those in because I first want to get the words down before I make the shape that goes around it, because I'm going to make this shape a cloud-like shape, and that has to do with the choice that I'm making with my background pattern choice. So looking back at the pattern choice, I really want to do like the dot sprinkle like technique where there's like just random shapes or lines just kind of literally look like they're sprinkled somewhere onto the background. So I thought instantly in my brain, I see stars in the night sky, or like the transitional time between sunset and nighttime. I love that time of the day where the stars start to come out. So in my brain, I thought, okay, if I do where the mantras were as like the clouds, I can do the background as the sky with stars, and it follows along with the composition choice, the mantra choice, and with our design choice. And just like mantra 1, I'm going over the words in black because I want the words to pop out. So every time I look at the cover, I see those first. And then I'm actually just going to take a dark purple and outline the clouds and start coloring in the clouds in the sky using my colored pencils, and kind of creating some variety in color by changing the pressure I'm putting, or the pressure I'm using with the colored pencil. And in the clouds, I also start to blend a couple of the colors. So I'm using purple first and kind of just create a little shadow effect, and then I'm taking the pink and I'm blending right over, because it's something really cool colored pencils can do, which is blend together. So I wanted to use that in my clouds to make it look more like that nighttime cloud where they kind of look like all different colors. So there we go. While I was doing the edge, I realized I was almost getting it on either my work surface or in my sketchbook. So I just grabbed a scrap piece of paper and put it underneath that front cover page. So when I went off the edge, I could go all to the edge without getting it in my sketchbook or onto my work surface. So you're more than welcome to do this if you need to. The background is an excellent example of how to use 3 different colored pencils to create some variety, and as well as a gradient from one color to another. So I started with a really, really light blue pencil. I pressed very lightly at the top, and as I moved it down the paper, I pressed a little bit harder, and then I moved to a darker blue and did the same, pressing really, really light to really, really dark. And then I added purple at the very, very bottom. And then with that purple pencil, I then go around and I start to put like our little dots and stars, that sprinkle pattern that I chose as my design choice. And then I started using all the other colors that I've used in the piece, so it's all tied together. So I did some of the dark blue, some of the light blue, and the pink as well. So the sky kind of all comes together in a more cohesive way. And there it is, composition 2 with the 2 mantras with the sprinkle pattern. Now let's talk about our last choice of having 3 mantras. And again, 3 mantras means 3 composition choices as well. So we got some really exciting ones. And when I was planning this out, like I had an idea for the design I wanted, but the word choice, well, no, I knew what words I wanted to use, but how I wanted them to lay on the paper, I really had to think about it, because in my brain I was using some of my favorite things to get me inspired. So I had to figure out how I wanted that laid on the paper. So it took me some time to figure it out. but I kind of just sat there, thought it through, and then I came to the decision that composition 3 was going to be the best choice for what I wanted to do. So I got my sketchbook out and I started to really think about what design I wanted, because I really wanted to do the doodle combo, because I really liked how this one inspiration that I found like really just spoke to me. It was really colorful and it was filled with all their favorite things, and I was like, oh, I got to do this. So again, I start off with my pencil, making kind of the generic circle oval shape where I kind of want those things, and then I turn them into more specific shapes again. So this one I'm turning the big oval at the top into a moon and sun, because I really like to play with the moon and sun in symbols. I just think they're important to me and I like them, so I want to include that on the cover and use that as where I put one of my mantras. And then for the bottom two, I started to just do a random shape, kind of like the inspirational picture I was looking at, but I didn't like that. So I thought, what if I turned the last, like the bottom two, into two of my favorite foods that I love to snack on. So I thought, okay, I'll make an ice cream cone and then I'll make a taco, and I can then write the mantras on those. And so that's what I was doing. And then once I finished those and the outlines of where the words are going to be and where the big pieces of my design were going to be, I wanted to start going in and outlining in the black pencil first, because those were the important aspects of my cover and the important parts of my composition. And then once I'm all done with that, I then start to go in and just start doodling with some of my favorite things, some of the things that I knew would inspire me and make me like kind of smile or giggle every time I looked at my sketchbook. So once all the lines are complete, you'll see I start to just doodle a little picture of like my dog and a donut, and I think I put some crystals in there, and I put like a weird drippy thing that I always draw when I don't know what to draw, and I just started to fill it up with some of my favorite things, and it filled up the cover, I think, in a really unique way. Now with those outlines completely traced, I'm erasing any sort of pencil that I can carefully, so that when I start to add color, that pencil isn't there. And because you've seen me color two of the sketchbooks now, I'm gonna just get that part done off camera and show you. Then I started to then add some fun little more decorative pieces with just the color, not a black outline, just to kind of tie more of the elements together. Like that leaf seemed very by itself, and I like the idea of leaves blowing in the wind, very, Pocahontas, very Last Airbender. So I kind of put those in, and then I was like, I just want to have some more fun like lines in places to kind of tie them all together. So I chose one color to then just start making some lines in places, and it started to feel more together and more like with what I was seeing in my brain of this fun, colorful, funky doodle cover. You can see I'm making choices of where there might be like a weird gap that might need a little something something, so I put a line there. And there we are. Ta-da! And here we are, 3 different covers I made using the design choices we have. One example with 1 mantra and a line pattern, one example with 2 mantras and a sprinkle technique for the background, and a third example that has the 3 mantras and uses a combo of design to make it a little more uniquely mine. So I can't wait to see what you choose and what your covers look like. Have fun!